Okay, guys, I'm going to go over a couple of the problems that you have on the formative today. This is going to be a good review for your quiz tomorrow. So here are some ratios and unit rates. So this problem says Gina's art teacher mixes 9 pints of yellow paint with 6 pints of blue paint to create green paint. Gina mixes 4 pints of yellow paint with 3 pints of blue paint. Did Gina use the same ratio of yellow paint to blue paint as instructed by her teacher? Explain. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pick out the important information here. So what do we know? We know that the art teacher mixes 9 pints of yellow with 6 pints of blue. And then we know that Gina is mixing 4 pints of yellow with 3 pints of blue. And we want to know if Gina used the same ratio as her teacher. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to set this up with WKU, and I'm going to write teacher. Well, actually, I'm going to change back to yellow. So here's the teacher, and we're talking about yellow to blue. Okay, so that would be my W. And what do I know about the yellow to blue? The teacher used 9 pints of yellow to 6 pints of blue. Okay, so now I'm going to put a U here just to put it there. Then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to put my info for Gina. So W, Gina is going to be yellow to blue, just like the teacher. And then what do we know? We know that Gina used 4 pints of yellow and 3 pints of blue. So we want to know if the ratios are equivalent. So what I'm going to do, what I noticed first of all here are my denominators, right? So I have 6 and I have 3. So what I'm going to figure out is I'm going to come over here to the teacher side, and I'm going to put this ratio into simplest form. I'm going to reduce it. So in order to do that, I'm going to divide 6 by 2 to get 3. Oh, I'm sorry. I think I said I was going to reduce it, but what I meant was I'm going to make it equivalent to Gina's denominator of 3. Sorry about that. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. And then if I divide 9 by 2, I'm going to get 4.5. So now we have equal denominators, right? And so now what I need to do is I need to check those numerators. Are they the same? And the answer there is no. No. The ratios aren't equivalent. Four and a half over 3 is greater than 4 over 3. So the teacher used more yellow. So you could say that too. Teacher used more yellow. You could say that. Or you could say Gina didn't use enough yellow in her when she mixed her paint. So Gina's is probably, I would say probably a little bit darker than the teacher's. So that's what we did there with that problem is we just took, we noticed the 6 and the 3 here, and those are friendly numbers, right? And you know you can divide 6 by 2 to get 3. So then we created a equivalent ratio here by dividing by 2. We ended up with 4.5 over 3, which is not equal to 4 over 3. So that's how we can figure out that these two ratios are not equivalent. I hope that makes sense. Okay, guys, this is the third question on your formative that you're going to have today. So here, the question is showing you a table about different cell phone plans. So you have plan A and plan B. So each plan is offering a certain number of free minutes for every number of paid minutes. So plan A gives you 2 free minutes for every 10 you pay for. And plan B gives you 8 free minutes for every 25 minutes you pay for. And Pablo has plan A and Sam has plan B. It asks in the problem, it says that they want to know what is Pablo's ratio of free to paid minutes and what is Sam's ratio of free to paid minutes. And I tell you in there to use the WKU strategy to show your work, but you might not need the U. So, and your answer should be simplest form. So basically all I want to make sure you're doing is setting these up as fractions, because like I said, we are going to get into proportions soon and into percentages, and it's going to be, you're going to really see then why this is so important. So what we're going to do now is we're going to set up our ratios. So I have Pablo here under plan A. And so my words for Pablo, I'm going to turn him purple, I guess, are going to be free to paid. What do I know about his plan? He gets 2 free minutes for every 10 he pays for. And I just told you that your ratio should be simplest form. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and simplify that. I'll put a U there and I'll just simplify by 2 over 2. And we're going to get 1/5. Okay, so for every 5 he pays for, he gets 1 for free. So now let's look at Sam's plan over here. So Sam, again, we're talking about free minutes to paid minutes. What do we know about it? He gets 8 for free for every 25 he pays for. And then unknown. Well, ask yourself now, can I simplify 8 25ths? Is there any number that will go into both 8 and 25? Think about your factors there. If I put 8 and 25 in a birthday cake, would I be able to find anything to go into both of those? So I hope you're saying no. 8 25ths is simplest form. So there we have it. So the ratio of Pablo's free to paid minutes is 1 to 5. The ratio of Sam's is 8 to 15. Are those two equivalent? Well, when you look at these ratios, are 5 and 25 friendly numbers? This is the part where you say, yeah, those are friendly numbers, Mrs. Eccles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 1/5 and I'm going to multiply that by 5 over 5 to make an equivalent ratio. And I'm going to end up with 5 over 25. So if you actually look at the two plans, you would see Sam's actually getting a better deal, right? Because he gets 8 free minutes for every 25, and Pablo only gets 5 free minutes for every 25. So you'd probably go with plan B if you could make a choice here. Okay, I hope that was helpful. And if you have any questions about that one, then you should, oops, we just had a mishap here at our house. Sorry about that. Email me or comment in Google Classroom if you need help with that. Okay, guys, this is the last one we're going to go over here. It's the final question on the formative. So this one is actually an important question in real life. So whenever you start thinking about job opportunities and, you know, what is the most lucrative position, you really need to do some math to figure it out. So here we have Paul can choose to be paid $50 for a job, or he can get paid $12.50 per hour. Under what circumstances should he choose the hourly wage? And this is an essay question on there. So I just want you to explain this answer to me. What I'm going to do is work it out mathematically on here and show you how this works out, okay? So Paul can get paid $50 or $12.50 an hour. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set it up with WKU here, okay? So when you think of a job, a lot of times you get paid by the hour, so dollars per hour, okay? And so we're going to go ahead and figure out the unit rate here. What is it? How many hours would he have to work to get $50 is basically what we're figuring out. So if he makes $50 and he gets paid $12.50 for the hours it takes him to make that $50. I need to try to figure out how many hours that's going to be. Okay, so how I'm going to figure that out is I want my hours to get to 1. Okay, so I'm going to divide by 1250. I'm going to divide by 1250. When I do that, my dollar signs, this is actually dollars per hour, my dollar signs actually cancel out and I'm just left with hours. Okay, and so he actually will have to work 4 hours to make $50 at $12.50 an hour. And you can check that in a calculator. If you take $12.50 and you multiply that by 4, you're going to get $50. Okay? So, under what circumstances would it be beneficial for him to choose to make $12.50 an hour instead of just the flat fee of $50? Well, he would want to choose the hourly rate if he was going to work more than 4 hours. Because if he would work, say 10 hours, you wouldn't want to just take $50 for that, right? Because $12.50 times 10, you know how to do that. You actually learned that in 5th grade. All you do is move your decimal point one place to the right, is actually going to be $125. Wouldn't you much rather earn $125 for 10 hours than $50, right? So it really benefits Paul to choose the hourly rate if he is going to work more than 4 hours, okay? So I hope that makes sense for you. And this part here, when I set it up, the dollars over dollars per hour to figure out the hours, and I said this cancels out. So when I divide dollar sign by like dollars by dollars, that unit would cancel itself out, and then I would just be left with hours. I mean, that's a little bit advanced for 6th grade, but I just kind of wanted to explain to you that that's what I was doing there, so that you understood where that came from. But the main point of this problem is for you to understand that if he's going to work less than 4 hours, taking the $50 is the better deal. If he's going to work more than 4 hours, then taking the hourly rate is the better deal. Okay? So I hope that makes sense. I mean, if he's just going to work for 1 hour, I'd totally take the $50. So, all right, guys. Good luck today. If you have any questions or you need any help, please reach out, and then we can get you some help.